You thought I wasn't paying attention, folks. Oh, it's going to be close. It's going to be close. It's going to be close. Here we go. Let's start. Yeah. No, I mean, well, it's the build up to it. You know, it's just the build up to it, man. Ladies and gentlemen, we just got through telling you that we're on the TikToks. You're watching us on the Facebooks, on the YouTubes. It's Wednesday night in Indiana, and you know what that means. Welcome to the Evan and Aaron Show presents the Red and the Blue Soccer Chat. These are your homeboys, Evan and Aaron. We just love the fact that we get a chance to talk about footy football on a Wednesday night. Once again, a very beautiful, beautiful fall evening in Indiana.
We're getting a nice Native American summer here.
Hashtag woke. Anyway, yes, it is a wonderful season, and we are thankful for you guys that are here, that are watching. Yeah, the drunk crowd is here. I'm telling you, we are up and rolling, my friend, and I'm just going to check the YouTubes to make sure that we have sound. How are you doing today?
I am tired, but in a good mood. I'm in good spirits, but folks, I took 5 months off from playing the footy. You may know me. You may know me as an avid soccer fan and player. Played my whole life, and 5 months off is probably about as long as I've been away from the game since don't know. I mean, I think my wife, Mrs. Red, said she thinks this is maybe the longest I've gone without playing since I've known her, and that's 20 years now. Wow. And I can't think of any surgeries I had before that would have sidelined me. So this is probably about as long as I've gone.
Okay.
And I decided to play the first game of this new session, and of course our game was at 10:25 last night.
Wait a minute. No.
Yes. 10:25 kickoff.
My God, dude.
And I'm jacked up after I work out or play soccer or something like that, and
I'm all hopped up on Mountain Dew.
Had to go out afterwards. So it was a bit of a late night and then early morning for our friend Mr. Red here. So
oh man.
But honestly, I'm happy to have played. It's been a minute. I was kind of losing my kind of vibe for it.
Okay.
But was happy to get back and definitely had some fun. Made some decent plays and did the usual old guy, making some good fouls toward the in trick to kind of see it out, and then give it high fives to that guy afterward, like ha ha ha. That's how we win. So. But yeah, how are you doing?
Oh, man.
How's your week going? How's Professor Casey? How's school going?
Yeah, as if you guys who are watching video, you see I'm not in my normal attire. I had to come straight, from. Well, I was coming straight from work and went home, freshened up a little bit, and then came back. I just didn't.
I'm loving the lapelled waistcoat.
You like
yes,
that?
I called it a waistcoat. It's tweed.
Yeah.
And I'm really enjoying this.
Thank
you.
Is
this an Aaron sweater? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Aaron Ireland.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, it is. Absolutely.
Get you go to the Aaron sweater website.
You can dress up anything, guys, with one of these things.
And they are baller. And I tell you what, that goes with so many types of suits.
There you go.
And it's a warming layer.
Mm-hmm.
It's really nice. This is the fashion portion of tonight's show.
I was going to say, we've taken, we're a new format, guys. New format. There you go.
Apparently, it's called the weave.
The weave?
Yeah, where you begin a conversation and then you go all around and then you come back and make your point. And apparently there's one presidential candidate who thinks he's really, really, really good at it, even though he ends up talking about a professional golfer's dick.
Oh, and on that note, ladies and gentlemen.
No. We're gonna start here.
Okay.
This is where we're starting with the USA.
Okay.
Because it was just the international break.
Yes.
And I think it's important to talk about this, and I want to get your perspective on a couple of things.
Yeah.
So the Mauricio Pochettino era has begun in earnest. Obviously, we know the clock is ticking. We've got less than 2 years till the World Cup, and we obviously want to have a good showing. GGG was not going to get us there.
No.
It's pretty obvious. But expectations need to be tempered a little bit.
I would agree.
Poch got 5 days with these cats before their first game. It was simple. It was not this, amazing, free-flowing tiki-taka. And I don't think people should expect that. I think people should expect that he's going to be a very pragmatic manager and make the best of our strengths and weaknesses. But we got a victory over Panama.
Yep,
2-0. Junus Musah's first goal, great for him, assisted by Puli, which is fantastic. Teammates, you can see how that works for us. And then Pepi gets one late, and he's been playing really well in Europe. So these are good signs.
Yes.
Then we turned around and played Mexico, and the controversy here is, I don't think the controversy is the Dos-A-Cero'd, it's the manner of it. But what I want to talk about is Casey Keller and multiple people. Hey,
hola, amigo. Bien.
The Twitterverse, and especially USMNT Twitterverse, who's known really for their, measured and rational responses to things, are really up in arms about Puli and these other players going home. Now, Weston and I can't think of who else. I listed it. Read the intros.
Yes. Do your homework.
But those guys had injury concerns and probably shouldn't have come into camp in the first place.
Okay.
Puli going home is the big controversy. And I want to get your take on this because there's an argument to be made that it's your first camp with the new manager.
Yeah.
You're the captain of the team. You weren't. Tim Ream got it, but that was a lifetime achievement award.
Yes, right.
Puli's the captain of this team. He's the leader of this team. Played well against Panama. But Pochettino even talked about in his press conference about load management and things of that nature. You got Casey Keller and Alexi Lawless, fuck off, but Alexi Lawless talking about,
how do you really feel about Alexi?
He should have stayed. He's a leader, and it's Mexico and all this stuff. And then the other side of that argument is he played one less game, got rested, and then look what he's done for AC Milan since he went back to them, and that's what we want. Not some meaningless friendly against Mexico.
Right.
So as I'm clearly biasing you, what are your thoughts on that whole situation?
I mean, you go where your paycheck is. I'm sorry. I mean, if you want to be pragmatic about it, leave the guy alone. He's going to AC Milan. That's where he gets his money. And the fact is that you said it last time we were here. If I'm the owner of AC Milan and Pulisic is
a lot of faux patriots are going to be very upset about this comment.
I don't care.
Take your red hats off.
If I'm the owner of AC Milan and Pulisic is getting more playing time on these type of friendlies and things like that than I feel comfortable with, I'm going to say something. But here's what's brilliant about Puli, and this is why I back him on this. I think he knew. I think he was like, you know what, look, I need to back off a little bit. That's a player taking care of himself. And I'm sorry, guys. Are you going to pay his bills?
How much of also, I want to interject,
No, go ahead.
How much is this Poch as a club manager understanding this and recognizing that, yes, historically USA versus Mexico matters, but we've only beaten them once in Mexico City.
Yeah.
They're going to kick the living shit out of him all night long, and you knew you were going to play a depleted lineup where he was going to have to carry the burden anyway.
Yes.
I don't know all the behind-the-scenes shit, but I think this was a good move in the end, and we saw what he did at the weekend, and we saw what he did in the Champions League.
If this was the match, 2 matches before we go into the World Cup, then I'd have an issue. We have 11 matches. 11, guys.
Yep.
11. And Poch is just simply trying to find out who he has. And the fact is that, yes, okay, Keller and Lawless, you guys, you get paid to say everything that you want to say.
Right.
The working people, and this is what I'm saying, and this is kind of leading us into the second half of it, the working people can understand this. And I'm going to say it again, guys. I'm going to say it again. There's no reason for you to take that abuse against Mexico when it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
This doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, guys. And the thing is that I love the fact that you opened up with that Pochettino is trying to play into the strengths of the people that are already here.
Yes.
He's not trying to come in and implement something. He's like, okay, let me see what we've got.
Yes.
The fact,
and he will build around that.
Absolutely.
He will build a program around
the fact that we lost Dos-A-Cero'd, I still can take out some positives from that.
Yeah.
I can take some positives out from that.
I'm sad at the manner of the loss because there was a lack of conviction and a lack of heart amongst a group of players who had an opportunity to demonstrate that, at a minimum, they understood the gravity of the game. And, you know, that's where a Keller or a Lawless is going to say, well, they didn't have their leader. Well, you know what? Then someone needs to step up.
Someone needs to step up.
You know, if Lionel Messi gets hurt for Argentina, then Alexis McAllister
has to
or
do the thing.
Enzo Fernandez, is he Argentine?
Yeah.
Has to step up and say, I
hate saying that because, you know, the last time Enzo Fernandez said anything in an Argentinian jersey.
That's true, but I'm saying these people, you know, that look, it's next man up.
Yes.
And I think we're in agreement. Pochettino recognized the moment for what it was.
Yeah.
I've seen what I need to see. He knows Christian Pulisic. He's managed him before, and he made it very clear he didn't want him to leave. That was crazy. He prioritized. Things didn't work out, and you know, credit to Pooley. I mean, he got booed in his very last match at Chelsea, and now he's considered the leader of AC Milan.
Yeah.
Would you have ever believed this?
I mean, you know, I'm sad about it. I'm very sad about it in the fact that, you know, if he would have been able to stick around and hang out until Poch got there, would he still be there with Enzo Maresca?
Right.
You know, and to see what kind of player he might have turned into with Chelsea.
Yeah.
You know, fandom sometimes sucks, and you said this because we were talking about, once again, crossing the pond, talking about the Cleveland Browns fans' reaction to Deshaun Watson going down. It was deplorable. It shouldn't have happened.
It's
you know
horrible.
what? I don't like him, but the fact is
no.
that
you
got to be a fan of the team, man.
You never cheer for an opposition's injury, and you sure as shit do not boo one of your own players in a situation like that.
Exactly.
I just don't.
This is the same thing with Pulisic, man.
Yeah.
It's like, you know what, Chelsea, that was not our brightest moment.
You don't know what you're missing at this point.
That was not our brightest moment. And the fact is that now we see Pulisic really thriving in AC Milan. We see him taking that
Imagine Pooley and Palmer.
Oh, my God, man. I don't want
interchanging.
to. I don't want to.
Interchanging.
But bringing it back to the U.S., I stick by what I said. And the fact is that this man, he is leading by doing the right thing for himself. And it's not a selfish thing to take care of yourself.
No.
Because
we don't know whose decision it was. We I'm sure it was a conversation. Sure. I don't know if Pulisic went to Pochettino or Pochettino said, "Hey man, I see that your load management is high right now. I don't think I need you for this Mexico match because I want to give some of these younger guys a try against our biggest rivals and see what they do."
Yep.
I don't know. I don't know. Not a fly on the wall.
And you bring up a good point. Either way, I applaud both of those guys.
I do too.
If it is Poch that made the decision, Poch
Brilliant.
the decision. If it's Pulisic that made the decision, you guys need to get over yourselves.
Yeah.
And you need to see the maturity in that decision. He knows when to be there, and he knows when it really is okay to not be there. And that takes maturity.
I know there's going to be a lot of people who say there's no such thing as a meaningless friendly against Mexico. But I respectfully, I disagree. There are just times where you've got to say this game isn't the important one. I
would say to those people, like, hey, how do you feel about preseason NFL? Oh,
right.
Well, do those matter? Do those matter?
You'd be pissed. You'd be pissed if your starting quarterback got hurt in the fourth quarter of a preseason game.
Oh, yeah.
Because the score was close.
Yes.
And they were trying to win it. They don't matter.
Nope.
The game matters in general, but there are certain games that matter absolutely more, and I think people need to acknowledge that. In general, though, I like what I saw from that first game. Second game, I think we learned that some guys just aren't quite ready.
Right.
But right now, we've got 15 guys that I know I can choose and put on paper and say we could go into a World Cup and play pretty decent. And if Pochettino has 2 years to work with those 15 guys and then can identify another 7 that he thinks, 7, 8, typically it's 23. Have we gone to 25 at this point? Maybe 10 more guys?
Yeah.
But, I mean, let's face it. Your main rotation is 15 to 17 players. You're not making that many subs. You're hoping you don't need certain guys because of injury, right? You want to be able to have your first choice.
I think you have guys
13.
I think you have situational guys on the bench,
Absolutely.
right?
Absolutely. But I think we're in a good place right now. Got the Nations League coming up against home and away against. Hey, you want to go to Jamaica?
Oh,
Go to Jamaica for a match in November?
I mean, I don't see why not.
Intern, tell me how much flights to Jamaica are right now. Okay.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm excited for it. So that's you get 1 USA for that. Let's move on to.
Oh, you're going to London.
Yes, we are crossing the pond to London. And by the way, so sorry, London, for sending you the Patriots and the Jaguars
my goodness.
to the most beautiful stadium in London. It's gorgeous. I know that's blasphemy, Wembley and all that, but Wembley doesn't have that cool fucking field shit.
I mean, no, that's right. It is gorgeous. It's a gorgeous field.
But Chelsea came back from break against Liverpool.
Yes.
Thoughts on the result and the performance?
I think we nailed it last time we talked. I think we called it. We were like, it's either going to be like a 1-1 or 0-0 type tie, or I said, I can't remember. I think both of us said either 2-1 or something like that. I'm okay with it. I'm absolutely okay with it. Here's why. 2 things. Number 1, Liverpool has the least amount of goals scored against them so far this season. They have 3. Guess who scored 1?
Yeah.
It's been Chelsea.
Yeah.
And they figured out a way. And once again, this is Nicholas Jackson for me. This is his I'm sorry tour as far as me to him. Like, I'm sorry.
It's a well taken goal.
Yeah.
It's a really well taken
goal.
This time last season, I think he misses that.
He misses it.
I think he feels the defender on him, and I think he panics with
I think he tries to go to the opposite in that.
He
goalie
might.
was right there.
Honestly, I think he just rolls it wide.
Maybe
this time last year, but it's coming. It's slow in my opinion, but you stick with these guys because we'll get to Rasmus Højlund later.
Yes,
who's not exactly knocking him in left and right, but
man,
trust the process.
Yes,
so
trust the process.
Back to you.
But I mean, so that's my first point. Is the first point is that they lost to the number 1 team right now, number 1 team, top team, 2-1 at Anfield. This sets us up exactly what we were talking about last time. What do you do after a loss? What do you do after a loss? How do you come back? How do you play? Are you going to, like, tomorrow's the match, and so are you going to come back and are you going to take care of business? And then on Sunday, are you going to take care of business as well? That has to be the goal right now. Yes, I know. Oh, yeah.
I need to figure out how to put that up.
Domino's Pizza. If you ever want to sponsor us, notice who our teams are. I'm just saying if you guys have not seen it yet, it's the best troll that I've seen so far. And ladies and gentlemen, we are at halftime.
Shout out to Dave. Shout out to Dave. Whoa! Guest spot.
A guest appearance by none other than our lovely Marsha. Marsha. Come in.
So, as always, big shout out to Chatham Tap, but I also want to do. We haven't done this for a while as to who we're dedicating to. Let me go ahead and take it.
Oh, okay. Slinky.
But I want to say, mad shout out to Alana Marr, because not only was she a badass during the Olympics and really putting women's rugby forefront, but now she's on Dancing with the Stars. And the coolest video is the little girl watching her.
Oh, my gosh,
trying to twirl around and inspiring, because Ilana Marr is the epitome of a woman who says, I'm body positive. And quite frankly, I mean, dude, seriously, you're sitting on your couch and you're kind of chunky, and you're saying, like, she's a big girl. I'm like, yeah, she's a big girl, but she's a big athletic girl.
Right.
And she would probably just absolutely truck you.
Yes.
And she's just cool. She's embracing it. and she's pretty girly too. She puts on her
right.
makeup and everything. Like
there's
I've never seen a woman go
there.
like red lipstick dress and then like go look at my guns at the same time. So I just got to give mad shout out to a woman who's absolutely owning her womanhood, her body positivity, and is setting a fantastic role model in much the same way that our lovely ladies at Chatham Tap do. So,
absolutely. Wow.
Back to the Chelsea thoughts.
Yeah, I haven't had dinner, so I'm going to go downhill really quick, dude. It's just what happens.
I mean, this is why you tune in if you tune in, is to watch the two of us kind of get progressively drunk like an episode of WKRP. So
I thought turkeys could fly.
What I want to ask next is, so you've got Poch?
Yeah,
coming up.
Yes,
tomorrow. You go to Greece.
Yep, go to Greece
tomorrow, and then have
sign language
Newcastle. You've got Newcastle in the league, and then turn around and play them again in the League Cup, and I believe it's essentially home and away if you think about it.
Yes.
Winnable matches.
Yeah.
Not easy matches.
No, not at all.
What do you want, and what does Chelsea need?
So I think we got lucky. We got lucky that we have Newcastle at the Bridge for an EPL match.
Okay.
That was big. I'm starting to feel the momentum coming back. I'm starting to feel better about people coming to the Bridge and us being able to defend the Bridge. I do think that I would like to see a sense of urgency. I'd like to see them, connect more in the midfield. Our midfield was okay. It was okay against Liverpool. As a matter of fact, the first 20 minutes of that match, second 20 minutes of the first half, we were okay. We looked okay. And when we tied it up, it was like, okay, this can actually stay this way for a while. But we did the 2023-24 thing that Chelsea did as soon as we scored a goal. 3 minutes later, they came back and scored against us. And that's what I don't want to see. I want to see us more solid in defense, being able to protect either a draw or being able to protect 3 points. That's what we need to be able to do. That's what I want to see.
I feel like our teams are suffering from a similar malaise in the sense of whether it's injuries or just availability, tactics, whatever. We don't have a solid, back 5 to 6 people. There's a constant rotation amongst the center backs. Reece James was back, but I don't know if it was Maresca, but somebody came out this week and said he can't play multiple games in a week.
No.
And
it's going to take him a while to get back in.
You didn't have Nkunku starting from the beginning in a big match. So there's these question marks. Is the January transfer window an opportunity to bolster the squad, or do you think stick with what you got? Okay.
I think it's always an opportunity. It's always an opportunity. Especially when you have 564 guys on your roster. I'm just saying.
We can loan you somebody.
Yeah, right. We can loan you somebody. I think it's always an opportunity. I think at this point, I don't know that Enzo is really looking hard for number 9. I think that he has a system in place that can work for us. I'm not saying it's the best, but I think it can work for us. I just need our defense to be shored up.
Yeah.
When Liverpool takes the field, Van Dijk's back there like, I know I'm old.
Yeah.
But I've got this.
But
you know what I mean? We need that person. And like I said, I am a big Axel Disasi fan. I love the way he plays. I love the heart he has. I don't know he's the guy for that position. I thought Caicedo would be able to step into that. I think he was dinged up during this match. I really do. I think that he was hurting a little bit, and it showed.
Did Fernandez come on for him or
Lavia? Lavia.
Okay.
Yep. Fernandez came on for Lavia, but it's
hard to not.
Lavia.
Yeah.
We'll just leave that right there. But I think that we're okay.
If you don't know what we're talking about, you're like most men.
I thought that was concerning the Dolores. Anyway.
Still.
Yeah, exactly.
Look, if you don't know where one is, you don't know where the other is.
That is true. That's very true.
And you probably vote Republican.
Oh. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we've kind of switched. But no, I think that we're okay. It's just one of those things where we just need to see where we go from here. Do we respond? Do we come back, take care of business, seem very, very solid against the team from Greece and also against Newcastle? Can we secure those 3 points? Because I'm telling you, going to Newcastle, that's a big deal.
Yes.
It's a cup that we are still in contention for, that if we continue to play
any
the
trophy
way we can,
for you would be a positive step this year.
It would be an incredibly
absolutely.
positive step.
Absolutely.
If we play like I know we can play, that is going to make all the difference in the world. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, let's see. Is Manchester east or west of London?
It's the northwest.
Northwest. There we go. You need. Yeah, I mean, you guys.
Oh, there's a drunk crowd at United too. Let me tell you, I've sat with them. Yeah. It's called the Stratford Inn, and it's a lot of fun. Let me tell you, it's an absolute ton of fun.
I am so seriously, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart. I am so happy for United because this win over Brentford. I love the fact that they are now off the schneid.
Mm-hmm.
I love Garnacho. I think he is coming into his own.
Yeah.
I think that guy is like, you know what? Give me the ball. I'm going to shoot it anyway. Here's what my lead-in question, and then you just go. Lead-in question is this. Who do you see emerging for this team as far as the player or players that are going to be able to continue this momentum? Continue this turnaround.
I think our biggest issue right now, and the answer to that question is that Kabi Mainu is hurt, and he's going to be out for another 7 matches. He's projected to be out beyond the next international break. And
that one slipped
by
me.
I think we all saw toward the end of last season what a healthy Kabi can do.
Yes.
And we saw how fantastic he was for England this summer. We saw it in person.
Yep.
And he is really something special to build around. And I got to be honest, the prospect of Kabi Mainu and Jude Bellingham playing together for England for the next 10 years should scare the living shit out of the rest of the world.
Yeah.
Asterisk, if Kabi can stay healthy, because let's remember, last year he got hurt in preseason.
Sure.
Missed, I think, basically the first half of the season, and then he came in and it was like, is the kid ready? And then very clearly the kid was ready, went to the Euro, played fantastic. Was probably one of the best central midfielders statistically.
Just broke out
during the course of the summer. Probably outplayed Bellingham in many ways. And then
that happens.
Is now injured again. I think again we talk about load management and overuse and things of that nature.
Yep.
He needs to be managed. But if he can stay healthy, that's who United are. Him, Garnacho, Rashford's at the upper end of that. But I mean, think about it. This kid started, at 17, 18 years old, burst onto the scene. Yeah. So he's not exactly old. I mean, he's like still somebody that you need to be building around. Rasmus is young. Bruno is starting to get close, but I'm not getting rid of Bruno anytime soon.
Spry, dude.
Matthijs de Ligt is beginning to demonstrate how important he is, and the fact that he wasn't on the field for that Brentford goal, I think, it is an indicator.
Yep.
Also, I want to say this. a lot of United fans were like bitching and moaning about this whole thing. That was a failure of the training staff.
Yes. Okay, I was going to ask you about
absolute failure of the training staff. It wasn't we got fucked by the refs.
No.
It wasn't somebody not doing their job. It wasn't Diogo Dalot getting half screened. It was the fact that our training staff dropped the ball. He clearly had an head injury that was going to keep gushing. They did not over Vaseline it like they eventually did.
Yeah.
They didn't wrap it. They didn't do anything. And quite frankly, he should have been off the field minutes before that.
Yes.
Anyway, you can't be mad that the referee looks over and sees a guy bleeding like Terry Butcher and says you got to go off. You know you have to go off for that. He can be mad all he wants. Everybody can be mad all they want, but that's on the training staff, and this is what it means to be a club, okay?
Yes.
It's not just Eric Ten Hag does things. It's not just Marcus Rashford does things. It's the whole of the group working together and the training staff recognizing this guy's got a bad gash. Maybe we need to, like, staple his head and rub it with some Vaseline and put a cap on it. I don't know what. But I can tell you, I've seen this taken care of, and if he'd have been on the field, it's far less likely we'd have given up at that goal. Now, maybe your argument is it's at the end of the half and United don't focus. I'm cool with that, but Dalot Dalot is at fault a little bit on that screen. So is Casemiro. So why isn't Onana coming from the ball?
Yep.
But the fact is we were a man down,
right,
outmarked, and our training staff failed us. So in that instance, we have to talk about it as a club issue. The rest of that match, though, I mean, United came out in that second half, and you knew they were going to win that game.
Yes, absolutely.
You knew it. You just could feel it. There's a feeling developing, and you're beginning to feel it with Chelsea.
Yeah.
We're beginning to feel it with United. What you want is to feel it
for you guys to tie that up.
2-3 games in a row. You want to feel this momentum build, because if United can do that, United can get themselves back in to that top 4 touching distance by Christmas. But Kabi Mainu is important to that.
I
and
agree.
if he's not around, and see where I did the weave there?
Yeah.
Right.
And you didn't even talk about Arnold Palmer.
Not one bit. Not one single inch about Arnold Palmer.
Oh, wait a minute. Oh.
That looks Trumpian.
No, wow. Here's what I'll say about Man U. I watched this match. I was able to watch this match today in my little bit of time that I had. And I was impressed. Like, they came out. It's been a minute since I've seen a chip on Man U's shoulder.
Yeah.
I saw that. Like,
Come
as
get
soon
some.
as Garnacho, that strike, that. Okay, first of all, let's talk about this.
The ball from Marcus?
Yes, Rashi delivered. Like, guys, look, if you're watching the video, I'm talking to you. You and I, all we needed to do was stick our foot up. Now, here's the thing. I'm not taking anything from Garnacho.
Oh, that's a finish. That's a finish.
It's a timing issue. It was
But the ball is exquisite. And I want to point out that Garnacho is I understand why people love him, because he's the kid that he gets the ball 5 times, runs at you, and he gets thwarted or he trips on the ball, whatever, and then he gets the ball the 6th time. Fuck you.
Yes, exactly.
Marcus is beginning to recognize that used to be me, and I've still got it because at his best, you want Marcus isolated on a dude.
You do.
I mean. Marcus absolutely flip-flapped a dude a couple weeks ago, and it made every highlight. And nothing came of the play. When a dude does something and it's a 12-second clip and there's no goal in it, you know that's a motherfucking move.
Oh, yeah.
But Marcus was dropping deep, looking for the ball, looking to play make, looking to set up other players. He came and found that ball.
Gorgeous pass.
And then said, oh, my blonde boy on the left side is wide open. He recognized the overload from the defense that was pushed his way, and he played a nasty ball. And by the way, Marcus could have had his own. I would like him to score more.
Well, sure.
But if he can turn himself into a player that, look, Cole Palmer's awesome. Okay?
Okay.
I love the kid.
Yes.
But what he has learned at an early age is there are times when I need to shoot, and then there are times where you think I'm going to shoot, and that guy's open.
Jackson
and
is like
Marcus
doing his thing. Yeah.
Obviously, not quite the same situation. It wasn't like
Sure.
he was alone on goal. But when he first got that ball, I thought Marcus is shooting. And then the way that thing trailed off at the back end to just drop right. And Garnett, I mean, look, it's not as easy as it looked.
Right.
I've hit some of those goals, and I've missed some of those goals. I've seen guys take a big swing at that.
And
but what he really needed to do was just make good, clean contact, and he did. Everything's about that ball. The weight, the pace, the delivery, the angle of it is fantastic. And then, let's face it, Bruno's, I mean, was it Eriksson to Bruno?
Eriksson to Bruno to Højlund.
To Højlund, and Højlund with the nice just little scoop. I mean, that right there, that's vintage Man United. And we should have won that game 4-1.
Oh, yes.
We had opportunities.
Yes.
That's what Ten Hag's talking about. We need to get to this point where we're like, not only did we outplay you, we're beating the shit out of you.
Yes.
And now you fear us.
Yes, absolutely.
You don't want to come here anymore.
No.
You don't want to come to Old Trafford. And that's what you guys are trying to build up as well. So
I think this is what has thwarted the EPL in the last couple of years, because we have not necessarily shown out as well, you know, in the club cups and things like that, because I think we've gone away from that. There is a swagger now, and I'm saying this, and I claim this. There is a swagger now to Man U players when you come to Old Trafford.
Yes.
There, you know, it's like there's a swagger when you come to the Bridge. You know what? Don't you dare come to the Etihad.
When you're emulating Cristiano Ronaldo's
yes,
like goal scoring, like I'm gonna go sit on the wall and cross my arms and look at you like, what are you gonna do about it? What are you gonna do about it? And that is the Man U that I grew up with, and I hope we get back to it.
No. You know what this is time for?
Drunk crowd.
Yes, exactly. Ladies and gentlemen, what that does is that takes us to a very important time in our podcast here. We are hearkening back. Hearkening? Did I just pull a George GW?
No.
We're hearkening. We're hearkening back.
You're fine. You're fine.
Okay.
You're fine.
We're hearkening back to our original
roots,
show, the Evan and Aaron show. And guys, listen, this is the time if you know, are like, well, you shouldn't mix politics and sports. We love you, and please come out and have a beer with us. But that's where we're going right now, because right now is the Hey Aaron segment of our podcast. Yes, and tonight the Hey Aaron segment is brought to you by, let's see how many people we can fuck up with politics. I'm just saying. Okay. Yeah. Aaron, you know, it is less than 2 weeks away. Less than 2 weeks away. The world is watching. And ladies and gentlemen, here's why we mention it. Football is a world, it's a global game. It is a global game. When people look at the United States, we have to consider how they look at us globally. And we have to also take in consideration the fact that, you know what, there's a lot of division in America right now, and people are anxious.
And globally.
Yeah, globally, yes. I mean, you've got several different things going on. Aaron, here's the prompt for the Hey Aaron segment. As we enter into this final countdown type of deal, what are your thoughts? What are your concerns? And you set me up for this, and I'm not stealing your thunder, but I want you to talk specifically about Indiana. What do you see that is important for us to understand going into this election?
That's great, because we have talked a lot about the federal level and things like that. But, you know, when it comes to what's going on here at home, I think there are a couple main things to look at. And, you know, I'm a big stats guy. and analytics, and I let the numbers do a lot of talking. And I know the whole you can manipulate and things like that, but sometimes they tell a very, very obvious story to you. And the reality is we've had a Republican supermajority in this state for 20-plus years now, okay? Indiana has actually voted for Obama in at least one election. In turn, check me for the second, but at least once. So that means that probably Indianapolis really carried a lot of that vote. So this is a twofold point. Follow me on it.
Okay.
We've had 20 years of a Republican supermajority. Indiana ranks in or about the mid-40s in education, in infant mortality, in elder care, in so many indicators. If you are mad about the state of health care in Indiana, if you are mad about the state of roads in Indiana, if you are mad about the quality of health care that your children or your pregnant wife or your parents who are 60, 70-some years old, and I can relate to this personally and tangentially with what I've got going on in my life, if you're mad about that, then there's only one direction to point that finger, okay? And I'm not demonizing. I'm not saying these are the worst people in the world. I'm saying if you're mad about what's going on in this state, you need to acknowledge that we've been under the policies of one particular group for 20-some years. If you can't sort that shit out in 20-some years, you don't deserve my vote.
Very true.
And secondarily, we know who Mike Braun is, okay? The guy's lied about his businesses. He's not what he purports himself to be, which honestly is not unusual for a typical Republican candidate now. What is unusual is his lieutenant governor candidate, Micah Beckwith, has told us exactly who he is.
Yes.
He's admitted to being a Christian nationalist. He's admitted to saying that women are second-class citizens, that there's a Jezebel spirit, that honestly people should be arrested and taken away for abortions and things of that. Is this where you want to be? Is this who you want to be aligned with?
Right.
If you are at a gathering and you look to your left and the person next to you has a Nazi t-shirt on, and you look to your right and the guy has Hillary as a cunt t-shirt on, are these really the people you want to be associated with? Is this the embodiment of your beliefs and your ideology? Do you want a state that allows women to die because they can't get appropriate health care while they're pregnant? And I had a friend in here ask me why is abortion so important? What's that got to do with health with women's health care? And the reality is it's because Planned Parenthood specifically and the larger healthcare industry, if you outlaw these things, suddenly you take away the ability for these women to get the appropriate health care that's necessary.
Yes.
Especially Planned Parenthood. They do a lot more than abortions.
Right.
And in fact, that's a minor aspect of what they do.
Right.
What they really do is provide prenatal, postnatal care for lots of women who couldn't afford it otherwise. And if your health care is expensive, again, that's not on Democrats.
Yep.
We're trying to bring it down. And I will say we. Okay, I will identify with this one. I work in an industry that's very close to this. Not going to tell you because I'm not going to fuck that shit up. But I'm very aware of our inability to provide this in an appropriate way. So if you're mad about the state of things in the state of Indiana, you have one very obvious option in the same way that you would do at the federal level. But what's even better is You get to vote for somebody who used to be a Republican and who left that party because the people got too fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Went so far to the right that she said, I can't be a part of that anymore, and I can be most effective switching parties.
Yep.
I don't in any way think that she's a hard left liberal Democrat, even though that's what every ad's trying to portray her as. That is not the case.
No.
What we have in Indiana is a microcosm of the federal level, and that's an inability to understand where the problem actually really lies. And if you want change, you'll make that vote blue on November 5th. And I can tell you this, vote no on retaining all the Supreme Court judges. They had their chance.
Yes.
All these people have had their chance. The definition of crazy is doing the same thing over and over again. And that is what we have done in this state, and we need a change. And look, if we vote in somebody new, if we vote in Jennifer McCormick and things don't change in 4 years, well, first off, you gave the last guys 20-some fucking years.
Yeah.
So maybe she needs a few more to correct the mess that you guys made.
There you go.
But remember, our buddy Barack had 75 months straight of economic growth. And how long did it take Donald Trump to fuck that shit up? So that's my rant.
There you go.
Sorry if you don't like that, Greg. But
we love you anyway, man.
We love you anyway. We're glad you tune in.
Yes.
But sometimes you can't argue with the statistics. So that's Aaron's long topic. We got 12 minutes to make the gram, even though the gram has put limits on us and didn't allow us to post last time. Thanks, Insta.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
I know.
Wow, that
limitations.
sucks.
But,
That
you know,
sucks.
thank you. I do want to say this. First off, Long Drink does not promote our political positions or anything we have to say, or the fact that we choose our Man U and Chelsea and dislike the Arsenal guys.
Yeah.
Chatham Tap doesn't have anything to do with that.
We like
they
Michael.
They just
Michael's
give us
cool.
the space.
Michael's cool.
Absolutely.
We love
Absolutely. This is on us. we own this. I own my opinion. He owns his opinion.
Exactly.
And that's how it's going to be. But that's what I have to say on that issue.
Amen. Amen. And there's your drunk crowd. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us. You know, I would like to, if it's okay with you, to maybe split the last 5 minutes.
No, brother. I want you to have it.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, because I just need to say something.
Okay.
Guys, listen, thank you for joining us. We have now reached Aaron's final thoughts, and I'm going to commandeer maybe a 2 or 3 minute spot of his final thoughts here. I want to specifically speak to people of color, okay?
That is why my microphone is down.
Our guy, Barack, a couple weeks ago, last week, my bad, last week, had a message for black men that did not resonate. And I'm going to be quite honest, didn't resonate with me either. I think he got it wrong. I think that a lot of black men felt that he got it wrong. And you know what? Like I said, I feel that he did. But here's the deal, guys. And once again, just speaking to my people of color here who are part of our podcast. Name me a time where you have gone to a family reunion or you've gone to a sorority or fraternity reunion and somebody didn't say something to piss you off. At the end of the day, are they still your brother and sister? Yes, they are. And the fact is that, you know what? He was the most powerful man in the world at one time, and he misspoke. Yes, okay, he misspoke. Where's the grace for Barack Obama? Where's the forgiveness for him? Where is the understanding? Like, you know what? Yeah, my man got it wrong. He got it wrong. My message is this, is that don't let one instance of somebody who dearly loves you, don't let one instance of saying something out of pocket sway the way that you know you should vote. And I'm not even saying that you should vote for Kamala Harris. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is this, is that we cannot afford to turn against ourselves. We can't. Forget the politicians. Forget Barack Obama. Forget, even forget John Lewis, who is a gift to this country. Let's talk about the Stokely Carmichaels. Let's talk about the Malcolm X's. Let's talk about let's talk about the MLKs. Let's talk about all of these people, Assata Shakur. Let's talk about all those folks who gave their very souls to make sure that we had the opportunity to have a voice. That's all I'm saying, is that we need to come together and we need to realize that this represents a threat to what has been built for us throughout all of these decades, throughout all these centuries. This is a threat, because what this is that I'm sorry, I'm gonna get partisan here. One candidate represents the opportunity to critique, to say, yes, you've had some bad policies. I want to see how you're going to fix that. And the other represents the fact that so many people feel emboldened and empowered to really feel and really say how they feel about us. Which one do you want? Which one do you want? Because it comes down to that, guys. It doesn't just rest on economic advancement. What do we want our presidency to look like? Do we want it to be something that truly represents? And this is the thing. I am sad. I'm sad that we've lost the party of Lincoln. I want a strong Republican Party. I want a Republican Party that keeps the Democratic Party in check and vice versa. That's the way our government is supposed to work. I'm sad that we don't have that Republican Party anymore. And I know there are plenty of you out there that are sad too. I'm telling you this. There's one way to get a message. There's one way to get a message across to the Republican Party, and that is, quite frankly, to say enough. We are voting a different way because we want to reclaim our party. And black people, this is why I say vote. Don't sit on the sidelines, guys. It may be very hard, but don't sit on the sidelines. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to my man, Aaron. Aaron, thank you so much for sharing that with me. I appreciate it. What have you got for us? Ladies and gentlemen, we love you. We adore you. Come have a beer with us. These next 2 weeks, we'll be able to talk with you, all that good stuff. Aaron's final thoughts. Send us out of here on a note that you want us to be sent out on, brother.
Folks, we got a handful of days left, less than 2 weeks. And I don't have anything to add, because that right there is a microcosm of the larger issue. And you need to recognize that if for some reason you're still on the fence, goddamn, I don't get it. It honestly says more about you that you don't know who you are, that you don't know whether you might be racist, that you don't understand economic policy, that you can't acknowledge that the International Monetary Fund says we're the strongest economy in the world and have been for like the last 35 years.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. So I'm going to say old white guy from the great state of Indiana yields his time back. And I say hashtag say gay.
Hashtag black people vote. Ladies and gentlemen,
get fucking after it, folks.
This is it. This is it. Next time we see you, hopefully, we will have elected a new president. I don't know. It may be a couple days, but guys, listen.
Or I'll be broadcasting from Toronto.
We love you. Take care of yourselves. Take care. We love you. Good night.